BF is upset with me because I expressed my feelings of hurt from him. My BF, 27M, and I, 24F, were invited to a mutual friend's place for a game night last night. We see each other lots, so they are a part of our cohort, and I had to work until about 7 o'clock last night. Normally my BF and I go to our friend's place together, but last night I texted him saying that I was done and I was on my way to pick him up, and he just responded, "I'm already there with Brad." Fake name, Brad is the roommate. I've already had some issues with Brad. He likes to control everyone around him, especially my BF since they live together. Anyways, I asked my BF what happened to us going there together like we normally do, and he didn't respond. 45 minutes later, he said, "Come by yourself, you're not a fucking child." And that's where my feelings got hurt. I didn't mind showing up by myself. I was the DD for him and Brad. Then he had the audacity to call me a child because I hadn't shown up yet. Told him that if he's gonna be rude to me, that I wasn't driving him home. I then continued to ask as a confirmation what number our friend's place was because I didn't want to walk into someone else's place by accident. All my BF said was, "You'll figure it out." Which irked me more, and I said, "Babe, seriously, I just need the number." His response was, "The house I'm in." I get there, everyone was super happy to see me and vice versa, but once my BF rounded the corner and seen me, he said all sarcastically, "Oh look, you found the place." So I pulled him aside and said, "Your sarcasm is hurting my feelings right now. If you keep it up, I won't be very fun to be around." Which I guess he didn't take it seriously, because he kept making jokes about me, and sly comments. Everyone could see me just deflate. By 11 I told everyone I was leaving, asked my BF and Brad if they wanted a ride, and they said no. So I went to leave and my BF blocked the door, said I wasn't allowed to leave until I gave him a kiss. I told him no several times. He kept pushing for a kiss until I raised my voice at him. So today I messaged him, asking if we could talk about what happened last night, and how he hurt my feelings. He said there was nothing to talk about, that I'm blowing everything out of proportion, and how it feels like he's dating a 6-year-old. I tried explaining how I felt, and everything he did towards me was hurtful. He said that I was glaring at him and ignoring him, so he was acting out to annoy me. Which I told him that if he was actually acting out to annoy me to get my attention, that right there shows immaturity. I explained I just want him to acknowledge my feelings and apologize for the things he said, but he doesn't believe he did anything wrong, and that I'm overreacting. He said that he had more fun last night after I left because I was pouting the entire time, and that I was an R then and I'm an R now for bringing it up again. What should I do? Edit. I want to update everyone. I seen my BF today. We took my dog for a walk, and to the dog park. While we were there we talked about what happened this past weekend, and he apologized for being a drunk degenerate, and he explained that he continued drinking throughout the next day. He said drinking wasn't an excuse for his behavior, and that he is really embarrassed. Apparently all our friends gave him shit after I left, except his roommate. His roommate patted him on the back and said good job, which everyone else tore the roommate out as well. He said that my feelings are valid, and he was so incredibly sorry for everything he put me through. So I told him I accept his apology, but I'm gonna need more actions of him being better over words. Throw the whole boy away. I second that. He's 27 and an adult behaving like a petulant child. Not worth the effort. You're dating a 6-year and it's not the other way around. You should dump him. I wouldn't be surprised if his immature friend mocks him for his relationship with you and he was being shitty to you to impress him. Either way, you are way more patient than I would have been, and you deserve much better. It doesn't sound like much of a loss. Throw the whole dude out. That's really ugly behavior. Your patient efforts to bridge communication with him were admirable and even above and beyond. But at this point I wouldn't bother trying to foster mature conversation. If he doesn't sincerely own up to how he treated you and speak to you like an adult about whatever his problem was, then I think you need to reconsider how to move FWD. Speak to your family and other friends, too, and see what they think. Maybe they've noticed problematic behavior in him, for example, that you've brushed off before. Yeah, he revealed his true colors. You need to protect yourself and end it ASAP. The longer you stay with him, the more difficult it will be to get yourself out of an increasingly toxic environment. Girlfriend and I are clashing over our parenting style. I just can't take her seriously as a parent. Ira and I have been together for 2 years. I've got an 11-year-old and 13-year-old. Both my children can prep simple meals, sandwiches etc. and are learning more as well as being able to use kitchen appliances, and both can wake themselves etc. Personally, I think what my children can do is basic essentials. My girlfriend's son is 21, so what should be a massive leap and bound in maturity between him and my children, but it honestly isn't. He can't cook. When he does food prep, he doesn't tidy up after himself, and my girlfriend will still cut his food up for him or bring it up to his room. He can't wake himself up, maintain a job or budget his money. He's £300 in debt and that's all I know about. He's stolen from me. He's racked up a £2,000 phone bill under my girlfriend's name. Can't even tie his shoelaces up. I'll be honest, I can't even imagine living with my girlfriend permanently if he's there, because I just can't have that kind of influence around my children. My girlfriend has genuinely planned for him to live with her permanently just in case. Thing is, I love her so much, but we're arguing because I can't tolerate her parenting. She'll try and parent my children and I just can't take her seriously or allow it, because I've seen the product of her parenting and it isn't what I want for my children. We argue all the time because right now she lives with me, as well as her son, and it's just becoming a dump when I'm working because, as I said, he doesn't care enough to tidy up after himself. I just can't see a way around this. Any advice, because I'm permanently on edge now and it's just not fair to me or my girlfriend, despite her allowing it. I don't see how that will ever work. I'm sure you love her, but moms with their sons are a whole different story. My mom lost out on a good man, my ex-stepdad, because she allowed my brother to be a mooch. The only way I see in it even working is if your girlfriend puts her foot down. There isn't anything you can do, because I'm assuming she will always defend him and make excuses for his behavior. Unless you're willing to deal with that for the rest of your life, I'd dip out now. Your GF sounds like my mom with my 20 years old brother, lol. People like that never change tbh, and having someone like her son in a household is so draining and tiring. I'm always shouting at my brother to clean up and to stop using my things. I even got in a huge fight with my mom and didn't talk to her for months because I was tired of doing everything while my brother gets to play his computer games all day. For your sake and children's sake, they don't deserve a dirty house just because some mooch can't clean up. Think long and hard if your GF has the capacity to change and if this is something you can live with. Just checking, but otherwise than being infantilized by his mother, there are no other developmental issues with him. He really can't tie his shoelaces and his mother cuts his food. Is he still wearing a bib? What is wrong with your girlfriend? Seriously, this is really concerning. And her behavior more than his. This is what I'm wondering. This doesn't make much sense. I know plenty of lazy entitled people who rack up debt, can't hold a job and leech off their parents. My brother-in-law is exactly like this and he's 40. But he can tie his shoelaces and doesn't need an adult to cut his food. This sounds like it's something more serious than entitlement. Granted, if Op were living with somebody who is developmentally challenged and he legitimately couldn't tell the difference, he's got bigger problems than a loser stepson. Yikes. Didn't see this coming before they moved in. Whenever I visited, the house was tidy or he was playing video games, so we weren't around each other as much as this. Question: since your GF has a plan for him to live with her indefinitely, it made me wonder, is he special needs at all? My question as well. I have a 23-year-old special needs child who may not be able to live independently. Her son being able to tie shoes or cut his own food at age 21 sounds more like a developmental disability than the product of bad parenting. GF told me she used to have sex with a really young guy and I don't know what to make of it. Been dating my GF for almost a year and we both love to talk about everything and anything. especially if we have a lot of time. We talk a lot about our life and today we felt really close. She told she had something serious to tell and made me promise I won't judge her when I hear it. Seems reasonable. I didn't really expect her to say this though. She told when she was around 22 she used to have sex with a kid from the block. She kept saying he was really young when I kept asking if he was underage. I'm not 100% sure about his age, but from what she told him assuming that he was somewhere between 14 to 17 because she told he was still in school. I'm really surprised she did this. I know most of you won't think anything of this but I can't stop picturing this. She kept telling me not to judge her because she was going through a lot, which is actually true because back then she had a tough life. But I can't stop thinking about this. She says she deeply regrets it and it's changed. When I asked about what the kids made of it, she said she can absolutely guarantee he enjoyed it. I have mixed feelings about this. I promised I won't judge her. She says she's realized her mistake. Should I too forget this? She is 29 and I'm 30 BTW. Edit, is it okay to rethink our relationship even if I'm sure she is changed and though I promised I won't judge her? I know most of you won't think anything of this. Wrong, your GF's a pedo. She kept telling me not to judge her because she was going through a lot. Please don't judge my multiple rapes, I was going through a lot. I'm 22. 14 to 17-year-olds are like little kids to me. I could never ever fathom hooking up with someone of that age range. Your girlfriend took advantage of those minors. Rethink your relationship. I swear r/relationship_advice is the sub that fucks my mind the most. I should just go back to COVID plus sub or world news or Askreddit. This is the only subreddit that genuinely makes me say what the fuck out loud. She was an adult, he was a child. She committed statutory rape and honestly this would make me rethink the whole relationship.